Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Villa Park. It is the month of April. It is a big month in terms of our season. We're out of the Carabao Cup, we're out of the FA Cup. We only have the Champions League and the league left to play for, and it's all going to happen in this episode. April is upon us and we need to win every single game. Before we get into the episode, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, and let's go do this. So as you remember, last episode we finished off with 2 defeats in the league and the FA Cup, both 1-0 defeats to Leeds and Watford. We start off this episode with a game against Arsenal, then we play Benfica, Fulham, Benfica, Spurs and Watford. Actually, the way the month has fell, it's not the worst month in the world. Arsenal are in 14th, Fulham are in 19th, Spurs are in 11th, and Watford, who've just beaten us, are in 10th. So there is a chance, as I catch something there is a chance that we can get 6 wins from this month, but the lack of goals, and actually the shortage of goals in the last few games as well. 1-0 win over Newcastle and 1-0 win over Man City. Slightly worried that we're hitting a bit of a drought, but hopefully we can turn that around here in the first episode of the day, first game of the day, sorry, against Arsenal. And we have a number of knocks today as well. Osmar, Nikiko, Raj, Jose Wilson and Limario all have knocks, so it's a bit of a mishmash of a bench. Osmar is on the bench as our last substitute, but like I say, he has a knock. So the team is Wadsworth in goal, it's Small, Brunic, Upamecano and Alex. Bellino sits in front of them, Tunjo and Hudson Enrique in the midfield, Kozil on the left, Costa on the right, and Wolfgang Klosch plays up front. And hopefully we can start this episode better than we did the last one and get a victory. Brahim, cut out by Costa, Hudson Enrique now, Upamecano, and it's a mistake and Lowehouse fires it over the bar. Bellino looks on for Kozil, takes it down, good control from him, goes past his man, that is brilliant from Thomas Kozil, into the box, can he pull it back? He does, and Wolfgang Klosch slides in, 16th of the season for Wolfgang Klosch, 1-0, 16.5 minutes on the clock, really well worked. Thomas Kozil, the man who is leaving the club at the end of the season for Inter Milan, what a touch that is, and a great turn of pace to go past his man, into the box, and then he makes the right decision, squares it across, and Wolfgang Klosch just slides in, inside the 6-yard box, it's 1-0. Kozil with his corner kick, whips it in, headed away. Bellino will pick it up now with his back to goal, goes all the way to Thierry Small on the halfway line, receives it back, playing it between themselves now as Arsenal regroup, get their shape back. Bellino, Kozil, Bellino into Hudson Enrique now. Costa, nice little play, Wolfgang Klosch and blazes it over, snatched at the opportunity there, really just took his time, being composed, put it into the bottom corner, but he just blazes it over. And once again, we have the ball as Upamecano and then looks forward to Hudson Enrique. Nice little triangular passing, ball switch out to Thomas Kozil on the left. Thomas Kozil goes for the shot this time, but he didn't really have a lot of support. Wolfgang Klosch was slow getting up to him, and it remains 1-0. But we have been the dominant team here as the ball is switched out. Not a good ball. Gade will collect it and gives it to Ahmed Dembele. Mazzino now, Marcus, and Mazzino looks down the line. It's a poor ball, and that'll be mopped up by Harold Brunic. Upamecano now into Alex. Tunjo has dropped deep to collect that now. Kozil infield to Thierry Small, who's getting up the pitch every chance he gets. Ball through. Hudson Enrique between the defence. He's in behind, and it's another good save by the goalkeeper, who's really keeping Arsenal in this game. Portillo now coming in field, but Bruni cuts that out and Small to Tunjo. Nice little triangle to get away from the man, and that ball is long and pretty aimless really, and the goalkeeper has time to collect it and fires it long. But Upamecano, brilliant control there to bring that down and bring it forward. Hudson Enrique in towards Wolfgang Klosch, headed away, headed down again, and Costa, that's a poor ball from him, it's cut out by Sargent into Gade. Gade on this left hand side now gets away from Costa, infield to Sargent. Sargent runs towards the box, in towards Portillo, and it's straight at Wadsworth. And with 15 minutes to go, we are 1-0 up. West Ham are losing 1-0 at Manchester United as that ball is in. No, how has that stayed out? That a combination of the goalkeeper, defender and post, I think, have kept that out, and we're riding that look a little bit as Ahmed Dembele puts the ball into the back of the net from the resulting corner. It is 1-1, and to be honest, for all the dominance we had in that first half and the chances where we should have really extended our lead, Arsenal have been better here in this second half, and it's 1-1. And what I was about to say was that West Ham were losing at Manchester United, which meant the gap would be back down at 2 points, but we need now to get a goal. More points dropped, and the first half we were very good, but you see here we just tailed off in the second half, creating nothing. Arsenal really came back into the game in that second half. They get a deserved draw, probably might have deserved more out of it actually as the game went on, but it is a 1-1 draw, and that is a really disappointing start to this episode. We got lucky there that Man United beat West Ham, but the gap is 4 points. That game in hand is still not going to put us top of the table, which is the most disappointing part. But we need to make sure we win it, and we need to make sure that we are within touching distance, because any slip up West Ham do then, we have got to be on it to jump on it and get the result and go top of the table. We are 30 minutes into this game. It's been mostly Benfica. They started off really well. We have not really created anything of note as Pinto gets away from his man and Alex cuts that out into Costa now. Well worked, Hudson Enrique, Alex, Wolfgang Klosch, little back heel, Bellino, into Upamecano, Alex, Hudson Enrique, Bellino. And it's a really nice play, working it from right to left. As Bellino finds Thomas Kozol in behind, who fires it into the net. Thomas Kozol is really coming good towards the back end of this season. The man who is leaving for Inter Milan, sent up the goal against Arsenal, gets the goal here today, away at Benfica, at the Estadio de Luz in Lisbon. Bellino with the chip ball over the top. Thomas Kozol took it down, fired it across Tamarit. It is 1-0. It is a Benfica team that features Joseph Tamarit in goal and Philip Baumann in the centre of midfield, oddly enough. So two ex-Villa players in this side. But at the moment, we rode the pressure they gave us early on in the game, and we have now took the lead as Philip Baumann has to go back to Kostov, back into Baumann, out to the left side of Pinto. Has a lot of space, gets towards the ball and pulls it back, and Upamecano can fire it away, but Sarr can collect it. Goes up to Diogo Spencer. Spencer now down the line to Solberg, being held up, and Rigo into Chernador. Nice little pass to Baumann, who made himself some space. Quick passing finds Ramos. Rigo's in behind and he fires it through Wadsworth. Flag has gone up, I think. No, it hasn't, but it's going to be checked by VAR. Goal is going to stand. It is 1-1. Joao Rigo with the goal. Ramos with a reverse pass into Rigo, and he just smashes it past Wadsworth. Went for power across the goalkeeper. Fantastic finish. Baltasar with this free kick now whips it in. Rigo goes up with Upamecano, heads it away. Hudson Enrique can't get there. Ramos, edge of the box, looking to get the shot away. Chernador, Baumann. Chernador again. Baumann trying to find some space. He can't. Keeps receiving the ball back under a lot of pressure. And he gets it again. He's really been at the heart of everything for them. And Ramos is behind and he hits the woodwork as he chipped it over the goalkeeper. Thought for all the world that was going to see the net ripple. He didn't. It is still 1-1 as we go into the final half an hour now of the game. Rigo looks down the line. Ramos collects it into Pereira. Pereira can get the shot away. He's hit the woodwork. And I think that is about the fourth time they've hit this during this game. And somehow it remains 1-1 here. And even a 2-1 defeat going into the second leg wouldn't be the end of the world. But we just have a bit of a slump of confidence at the minute as Kostov heads that over the bar. We really need to start putting a couple of wins together. We've got Fulham coming up in the next game, which you'd think would be a winnable game. But the way things are going at the moment, I'm not 100% sure. Throwing now over on that far side as Thierry Small makes his way around the pitch as that ball goes into Wolfgang Klosch. Takes out Wubashet Tunjo, and he... I mean, it wasn't where I would want to hit it. I thought he should have gone across the goalkeeper, but he went for the goalkeeper's side way too high, and it finishes here at the Estadio de Luz 1-1. Benfica 1, Villa 1. Thomas Kozol gave us the lead on 30 minutes. Joao Rigo got a goal back on 36. For the most part, it was a pretty even game. You see the XG here, pretty level for the most part. Baumann, who had a lot of touches in the game, only played 6.8, which is kind of a surprise. None of our players really turned in too much of a performance. Bellino with a 7, Kozol with a 7.3. But we've come to Portugal, we've got a 1-1 draw, and that means in the second leg we've got everything to play for. So a free kick here about 30 yards out. Osmar's going to hit it, and it's hit the woodwork, and Ferguson can clear it away. We have not won in the last 4 games in all competitions. 2 draws, 2 defeats. The 2 defeats in the last episode and then 2 draws at the start of this episode. So we really need to turn it around and get a win. As Bellino now goes back, ball over the top. Can Nadruz get there? He goes down, and Balbino, I think, tripped him. I'm not sure whether Nadruz was going to get there first. The referee's going to look at this though. It's a penalty kick. Here, midway through the first half, and stepping up to take it is going to be Savicev. Sends the keeper the wrong way. It's 1-0 halfway through the first half. Ferguson now running through the middle. Great tackle by Savicev. Gets the goal and they're doing his job as a defensive midfielder. Costa under some pressure, has to go back, and Savicev picks it up once again. Just spraying it around nicely. Ball over the top. Balbina can hook it away, and Purcell can head it into the path of Woolison. Looking to go past his man. Back to Purcell now. Ball switched over, and Pinyev is got behind the defender. Hits a shot, and Wadsworth makes a save. And Sondergaard can smash it away to Wadsworth, and the danger is averted there. First couple of minutes after scoring that goal, we look under a little bit of pressure, but we have rode it well as we go into the 35th minute now. 1 goal to the good. Wadsworth looks on there. Costa touches it down to Nadruz. Chance here now. As Nadruz goes in field to Bellino. Burvets is free. Through ball for Hoy. Nadruz hits the woodwork, and it remains 1-0. Sondergaard towards the far post. Headed back in. Bellino! Gianfranco Bellino surely seals it with 25 minutes to play. Ball into the far post. Fabio Costa headed it back across goal, and Gianfranco Bellino was on hand to just tuck it home. Osmar into Burvetts, out to Sondergaard, his ball towards the far stick, great header from Fabio Costa, and side-footed in from the edge of the 6-yard box by Gianfranco Bellino. It's 2-0. Burvetts, Bellino. Bellino now, going through the middle, looks for Osmar out on the left, can he pull it back? Does pull it back, Bellino's shot is blocked and Purcell can clear it away. West Ham are 4 goals now to the good in their game with 10 minutes to play. So it looks as if the gap will stay at 4 points with the game in hand as Burvetts puts that ball in towards the far post. It's hooked away. Kozul will try and keep it in. He does just that. Back to Daniel Burvetts. Nice little ball back into the path of Kozul. Across the box. Hudson Enrique heads it into an open net at the back post. It's 3-0 and that was a lovely work goal. Substitutes combining there to make it 3-0. Thomas Kozul with a chip to the far post. And Hudson Enrique heading in. Lovely play between Kozul and Burvetts, and that little chip towards the far post. Hudson Enrique just got to get it on target, does just that. Goalkeeper was stranded, and it's 3-0. Kulowski switch out to Purcell on the right. Purcell looking to get the crossing, does get the crossing. Guevara gets there first, but it's smashed away. Kulowski picks it up once more into Davey. Lara, there's a ball out to the left hand side, they don't use it. Davey once again. Kulowski, Ferguson with his back to goal. Davey, Guevara, they're working the passes nicely, but there's nothing really opening for them at the moment. Davey, Kulowski, ball out to the left side and Purcell. He keeps it in with the cross. Ferguson with the header over the bar. 3-0 victory, gap stays the same. West Ham did their job as well. I think it finished 4 in the finish at their game. Good performance, goals from Savicev from the penalty spot, and then Gianfranco Bellino on 66 and Hudson Enrique on 84. Hudson Enrique, sorry, that came out weird. On 84 minutes, it's a 3-0 victory. We dominated the game and we move on next to the second leg against Benfica. Certainly was nice to return to winning ways in the last game as Baltazar, who did a lot in the last game, runs past 2 players there, gives it out to Pinto. He has a little bit of space, does Baltazar, receives it back to Pinto. He gets the crossing towards Solberg, who heads it straight at Wadsworth, comfortably held from him there. First real chance of the game goes to Benfica, and I mean we're back to winning ways. That's a good sign. We looked good against Fulham, but they are a side towards the bottom end of the Premier League, so we should do. Hudson Enrique's in behind, fires it in. Hudson Enrique makes it 1-0, 18 minutes on the clock, just after Benfica had the first real chance of the game. Hudson Enrique in behind the defence and fires the ball across the goalkeeper. Excellently done. It was Burvetts coming in from the left hand side, switch ball out to Hudson Enrique, great first touch to set himself, and he fires it under the goalkeeper. It's 1-0. Osmar, free kick from distance, hits it, hits the woodwork. Can Bruni get there first? He can't. Baumann gets in front of him and just heads it out for a throw in on the far side. And we've been a lot better in this home leg, as we always are. We know that is the deal. We knew we had to run them close to their place. And as we go into half time here, it looks as if it's going to be Aston Villa 1, Benfica 0. It is just that. We just head on shots on target and XG. And so far, so good here in the home leg. Seems like a pretty silly thing to say, but we know that the next goal in this game is going to be so important, whether it be us going 2-0 ahead, well 2 goals ahead, sorry, in the tie, or it being all square in the tie with 40 minutes to go, sorry, and all the momentum with Benfica as Bruni gives it into Bellino with a bit of space, can turn, gives it to Burvetts, Klosh now over halfway, gives it to Osmar here on the left hand side, has to go back to Thierry Small. Goes all the way back to Upamecano now, and that's good. If there's no pass on, just work it back. Great ball through, and Hudson Enrique had a chance to get his second, and it's a great save by Joseph Tamarit. It is still 1-0. Corner on the far side. Daniel Burvetts with the outswing. Hudson Enrique flicks it on over the bar, and that all comes to nothing. And that slightly disappointing. Hudson Enrique getting in behind in a similar position to what he got the goal. Just couldn't make it work this time as Osmar heads it down in towards the path of Klosh. It's not back to Diogo Spencer, and Tamarit can clear it away, but only as far as Upamecano brings it back over halfway. Thierry Small now, down the line for Osmar. Osmar looks that ball into the centre. Sarr clears it. Small. Osmar once again switches out to Hudson Enrique, who hits the woodwork, and Sarr can clear it away once again. And we've had a couple of good chances here at the start of this second half, and we just haven't made any of them count. Upamecano heads it onto the bar as well. And this is 3 really good chances, and we need to make one of these count because we're pulling ahead on the stats, but so far it is still only 1-0, 2-1 on aggregate, and we need to make these chances count. We play the winners of PSG and Real Madrid. PSG are currently winning the home leg 1-0, but I think Real Madrid put a couple past them in the leg in Spain as Kostov goes right through one of our players there, and it's a straight red card. And Benfica down to 10 men with 15 minutes to play, a goal behind. Are they going to push for an equaliser now with the 10 men? Because there should be some space to exploit. As Thomas Kozul, he's put it wide. Small now here on the left-hand side, goes into Burvetts, receives it back, and infield to Kozul, and they play between themselves into Burvetts once more. Kozul Savicev switches it out to Tunjo, not down to Klosh. Tunjo through for Costa, and Tamaric gets there first and safely gathers the ball up, and he'll fire it long. But Upamecano, every single time the ball goes long when he's playing. Ball at the top of Tunjo, by the way, and Tunjo seals the tie with 15 minutes to play. Tamaric's ball up, Upamecano dealt with it fantastically. Ball went in to Thomas Kozul, and his ball over the top was just fantastic. Here it is, over the top. Tunjo with that run, touches it wide of the goalkeeper and just slots it into the bottom corner. It's 2-0. Kozul down the left-hand side, and it gets towards the byline. Pulls it back for Burvez. Ball towards the far post, and Costa heads it in. Fabio Costa off the bench, 3-0. And we have turned on here in the second half. 2 goals in 2 minutes. And it is game, set and match. And we are through to another Champions League quarter-final. Quarter-final? What am I talking about? This is the quarter-final. We're through to another semi-final, sorry. And PSG are drawing 1-1 with Real Madrid, which I think means we will have hostilities with them once again. As Cher and Dor back to Brazil. Brazil, and they're down the line for Balthazar. Balthazar now will look to try and get the ball into the box. Goes past his man, pulls it back for Brazil, gets it back under a little bit of pressure, and Brazil receives back. Now the cross goes in. Thierry Small can head it away, and Kozul can bring it out now. And just easily, no real rush from here. 3 goals to the good. Nothing needed to be done. As Klosh there takes it down into the path of Fabio Costa now, into Tunjo. Tunjo back to Fabio Costa, into the box, hits the shot, and Tamaric tips it over. Sharon Dor into Rigo. Balthazar now once again into Ramos. Ramos will hit the shot. It takes the deflection out for a corner kick, and there is there's now less than 20 seconds on the clock, and that should be everything for this game, as Balthazar will probably be one of the final kicks of the game. Ball towards the far post. Upamecano heads it away, and there is the final whistle. It's a 3-0 victory. Hudson Enrique in the 19th minute gave us a 2-1 lead on aggregate, 1-0 on the night. Wubshet Tunjo on 76 made it 2-0 on the night, 3-1 on aggregate, and Fabio Costa sealed things, 4-1 on aggregate, 3-0 on the night, and the job is done. We played very, very well today, and we thoroughly deserved that. And we move on to league action next against Spurs. So the Champions League semi-final draws look like this. Villa versus Real Madrid, and Barcelona take on Liverpool. 2 English teams, 2 Spanish teams, and I'm very, very sure, if we just check last season, that we got knocked out by Real Madrid 2-1 on aggregate over 2 legs. So hopefully we can get one better this time, go through to a final this time, as we go into, like I say, once again, another Champions League semi-final. They will be at the end of April and the start of March, with the Liverpool game in the middle of them. We will finish up with the game against Spurs and Watford. Yeah, we'll finish up with the games against Spurs and Watford, and then the next episode we'll bring you Real Madrid, Liverpool and Real Madrid in that one episode, and then we'll see where we're at come the end of the season, whether these last 2 games against Newcastle and Everton will be worthy of coming back for, if we're still in with a shot of winning the Premier League. Reina now, back to Arca, looks out for a dive, but Sondergaard can take it down into Osmar. Must be awkward coming on as a 10th or 15 minutes sub for the injured Thierry Small, but he's doing a good job thus far. Savicev over the top for Sondergaard, who's in behind. Sondergaard is going to get the shot away, and it's a poor effort there, and it remained 0-0. West Ham have just gone 1-0 up against Southampton. I was going to say it's still 0-0 there, so they will extend the gap to 6 points as things stand. They are now 2-0 up, so they are doing their job against bottom of the league. We just need to turn something on in this second leg. Our shooting has not been good enough. Everyone's motivated, and hopefully we can do something going into the second half of this game. Costa with the ball in. Top coup heads it away. Sondergaard picks it up with space. Into Savicev. Fired into Hudson Enrique. Bellino has space to get the shot away. Gives it to Costa. Hits the shot, and maybe he should have pulled it back as Paredes clears it away. Mario keeps it in and will recycle the ball and try and go again. But maybe that was the wrong option there from Fabio Costa. If he pulls it back, the goalkeeper's position means that we have probably a simple tap-in at the far post. But it looks not good here, 67 minutes in. Final 5 minutes now as we go searching a goal. We've gone more attacking. We've tried to move players forward to see if we can get this goal, and it doesn't look like it's going to be. We are going to miss out on another Premier League chance, I think, here, as we just go goal shy towards the back end of this season. A 0-0 draw, another game where we don't score, and we lose ground in the title race, and I think that is all she wrote there. So the last 2 episodes have been pretty much kicking the teeth. Defeats in the last episode in the FA Cup and in the league, and just poor performances, goal shy in the back end of this season, which has been very, very disappointing. Going to the final game of this episode, we take on Watford, who beat us in the last episode in the FA Cup. Hopefully we can get a measure of revenge, and hopefully West Ham slip up and we can get back into this somehow. Alex now on that far side, gives it to Burvets, back to Alex. Burvets up Meccano, back to Alex. Can he get the ball into the box? Really taking his time there, in towards Suarez, headed away. Going to be picked up by Sondergaard, back in field to Suarez. Up Meccano now, gives it back to Suarez. Sondergaard, ball into the middle, it's too deep and Rog will collect it on the far side. Nikita Raj now looking to get the ball into the box. Pulls it back for Daniel Burvets, towards the edge of the box, and Suarez, who heads it onto the top of the bar from the 18-yard line. And I mean, it was a nothing chance really. It's our best chance of the game though, which is thoroughly disappointing as that ball is fired long and Wolfgang Klosch cannot get there. But Burvets wins the header. Suarez back into Burvets, into Klosch. Klosch 1-on-1 and Cabrera makes a save and Osmar can't keep it in. It's out for a corner kick on this near side, half an hour in. And the corner will be whipped in by Nikita Raj into winger with the right foot. And it's headed away at the far post. We didn't start well here today, but we are looking a lot better now. Although I say that as Prieto looks over the top, Alex can mop that up nicely. And Wadsworth takes it, gives it back to Alex, and the defenders between them can bring it away. And mistake by Harold Brunig, and Hadi Fenn makes it 1-0. And this team are doing its utmost best to throw any chance of a league title away. Limario and Brunig playing it amongst themselves stupidly. Just get rid of the ball. Gallo takes the ball off Brunig's feet and Fenn just fires it into the bottom corner. It's 1-0. There's 12 minutes to play to half time, and that is pathetic. Need to put the press on now and hopefully get something out of them, because this is not good enough as Sondergaard nips in ahead of Fenn to win that ball. Osmar now. And that's another poor ball. And Fenn now can bring it over halfway. Gives it back to Villalonga. Can we win it back? It doesn't look like we're going to. As Rudic into Thiago Enrique. Prieto up Meccano though. An absolute rock this season. Can't question his commitment, his desire, even at the age of 37. As Alex looks over the top. Wolfgang Klosch takes it down. Good chance. Dinks it over the goalkeeper and he's missed. Whoa. I said we were goal shy, but it's just not happening. It's really just not happening. And Sondergaard now into Meccano. Klosch trying to turn it around the corner. Goes from distance, hits the woodwork, and Prieto can give it back to Cabrera and they can clear it away. And it looks as if half time it's going to be 1-0 to Watford. Fenn with a corner kick, whips it in. Villalonga flicks it on and somehow kept out at the far post. Fenn out as winger. Abo goes up for it, headed away from him. Gallo will pick it back up now on this left hand side. Great tackle there. And it's out for a throw into Watford. Corner kick now, Burvets whips it in. Brunig with a header, it's 1-1. Brunig, that's his first of the season. That's a massive surprise there. Harold Brunig only having 1 goal this season, but it is a goal. It is 1-1. 5 minutes into the second half, and hopefully we can get another now. Sondergaard with a throw into Burvets, into Klosch now. Back to Meccano, switches out to the right hand side and Alex. Alex now getting towards the bottom. Abo cuts it out though, and as I got that up, and Klosch fires it in. Was he onside? Surely not, considering his position, but it's going to be checked by VAR. It wasn't a clear and obvious offside apparently. Goal is disallowed, and it was my initial reaction that he was. Abo gave it to Cabrera, he cleared it. Yeah, I don't even know why the linesman had to check this. 2 players were 3 or 4 yards offside, and it remains 1-1. Ball fired long there, and Limario can win it. Burvet into Klosch. Klosch now out to Alex on the right side. Through for Hoyne, draws, fires it in, it's 2-1. And what a time to get this second goal. 19 minutes left on the clock. Harold Brunig and Hoyne draws getting the goals, and it is 2-1, and we are back in with a shout here. 5 minutes to play. Man City are dropping points as well. But Hadi Fenn puts the ball in. Villalonga's gone down, and oh, why? Why? 3 minutes to play. It's going to be a penalty kick. Villalonga steps up against Peter Wadsworth. Can he do the business? He can do the business. And Burvets gives it back to Wadsworth. Why? Just clear the ball. And Klosch over the top for Hoyne draws. This will be a great moment. And he fires it over the bar. Well, one thing, this running is going to be so goddamn entertaining. A 2-1 victory today. We have come back from a goal down. Harold Brunig from a corner and Hoyne draws slotting home on 72 minutes. We win 2-1. We were better in the second half. We weren't particularly great all told in the whole game, but we did enough. We get the 3 points, and let's have a look at the league table before we move on to the next episode. So the league table looks like this. We are in second place now, 77 points, 3 points behind West Ham, who have 80. There's 3 games left to play. In the next episode, we come back and we will play Real Madrid twice, home in the first leg in the Champions League. Then we'll play Liverpool at home, and then we'll play Real Madrid away. And the next episode will determine what we could possibly win this season. We beat Real Madrid and Liverpool. We're still in with a shout of a double. We lose both, and there is no trophies for us this season, and it will be a very, very disappointing season. Considering how it started, it will be a massive letdown if we go through the next episode and we don't have anything to show for it afterwards. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. It's not been as bad of a month as I thought it had been. We've actually gone unbeaten, 3 draws, 3 victories. Not good enough though. We needed to get victories. That game against Arsenal where we gave the goal away, and the game against Tottenham where we just looked absolutely hopeless in front of goal. Nonetheless, thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.